Hey everyone, I'm going to do a video on the Forge Massdrop Gent today, and I'm just getting over a cold, so hopefully my voice isn't too terrible, but I've had this knife for a few weeks now, and so this is a collaboration between three different groups or individuals. You have Massdrop, you have Forge the designer, and then the actual producer of this knife is a company called We Knives out of China, who has been doing a lot of really high quality OEM work for quite a few different people. So we'll go through the specs, overall impressions, details. This is what it ships with. Nice packaging, little box. Certainly well marked and so forth. Anyways, and then it also comes with a padded case here, which again has also been branded fairly heavily. So this is the Forge logo. Alright, specs. Let's grab a few size comparisons. Victorinox Cadet. What else do we have? I don't really have a lot in the way of small knives at the moment, but the ZT-0460, and then this one, kind of an oddity, certainly, but the VDK Vlad Knives Ferro. So anyways, in terms of specs, you have a blade length of 3 inches on the dot, so hopefully that's legal in your region or jurisdiction. Handle length is, let's see here, 3.6, overall about 6.6, weighs 2.4 ounces, so remarkably light. And then the handle thickness is just under half an inch, 0.4 inches. So anyways, those are the specs for the most part. The as far as the materials and build construction here, let's move these out of the way. Blade steel is S35VN, very, very high quality steel. It does use titanium liners, and you can either look at this as a frame lock or potentially a liner lock with overlays. I count this as a frame lock, or I'm sorry, a liner lock essentially. But 6L4V titanium liners, S35VN steel, stainless steel pocket clip, G10 scales, and does use ceramic bearings, and deployment method is a flipper tab. So nice little pocket friendly knife. Overall impressions, you know, actually I'm really, really impressed with this knife. It has done a lot of things remarkably well. First and foremost, though, is the price. You know, these coming, well, so it was a pre-order, and maybe we should talk about how Massdrop functions real quick. But Massdrop, the best way I can describe it is kind of a group buy website. So I saw this drop back in September of 2017. I placed my order September 15th. The drop closed September 30th. Estimated shipping date was January 31st, but they shipped a little bit early, so I actually received mine January 31st. So from the date of the close of the drop to the date that I received it, just what, 4 months on the dot essentially. And they sold basically a crap ton of them. They sold almost 1,400 on the first run, and checking the website today, another 1,003 people have requested a second drop. So you know, for 80 bucks, the materials you're getting, it just absolutely remarkable. You know, S35VN, typically you're going to pay, you know, closer to 150 for a comparable knife from anyone else, essentially. So yeah, love what they did here. The name fits, the design fits. This really is a fantastic knife to bring new people into the hobby. You know, this is a knife that someone who doesn't carry a knife would probably feel okay carrying. You know, especially with like the deep carry pocket clip here, and it's so minimalist that it just, I mean, it disappears in the pocket completely. All you see is this little tiny piece of silver that in reality no one sees. So yeah, a wonderful project. I think they did a lot of things really, really well. Mine is slightly off center, but we'll get to that later. Action, very, very nice. It's very smooth on the ceramic bearings. And yeah, so really well done. Again, I love knives and I love projects that introduce knives to people who currently do not collect or potentially carry them, and it, you know, gives them a reason to not say no to carrying a knife. So yeah, really impressed with it in that regard. I mean, the fit and the finish is excellent. Action is excellent. I feel like they killed it. And then again, the price for the materials can't be beat. You want to get a comparable knife, again, probably 150 bucks, you know, at this quality level. So again, blade steel. Let's go in a little more detail now that we've kind of gone through the basic points here. But S35VN, great all around, daily carry, stainless steel. It's going to hold an edge well, not terribly difficult to sharpen. As far as like nitpicks, if I have to go at it, because if I omit them, you guys will say that I'm doing it on purpose. But the grind lines aren't terribly clean transitioning from the flats to the primary bevel here. You know, there are other knives also produced by We Knives where they have a little bit more crisp transitions, like on this one right here. So, you know, the flats to the primary bevel, nice clean grind lines. Again, for 80 bucks, I think it's a non-issue, but if I don't point it out, someone else will. So there is the blade. Fairly thin blade stock. This one came razor sharp. Does have a sharpening choil, which comes out past the frame, or you can potentially choke up on it for some really in-close detail work. I think that'll be just fine. Flipper tab deployment, no texturizing, but works really well. You know, it's very fast, it's very smooth, it's a very fun knife to flip and fidget with, and just works really, really well. So that's the blade. Handle, again, we've got the G10. The pivot is underneath the scales here. I haven't disassembled this one yet, but I think I will to try to see if I can correct the centering. It's close enough. It's not perfect, but it's close enough. So I'll mess with that later. But you know, it's very comfortable from an ergonomic standpoint. I have an extra large glove, and you know, works really well. Again, this is not like a hard use, heavy duty type of do everything knife. This is just a nice little piece you can carry in your pocket and, you know, tackle daily tasks without any trouble whatsoever. Liners, which again are titanium, sit a bit proud, and it's very comfortable. So one single standoff here at the back of the knife, plenty strong. There's no flex whatsoever. Now the pocket clip, you know, again, I like it because it's very low profile. It is very discreet. The only thing is this is a fully polished pocket clip. Ideally, it would be a satin finish to match the blade. It's really a non-issue, again, especially at 80 bucks, but in a perfect world, I would prefer the two to match a little bit better. But again, that should not discourage you from getting this knife by any means whatsoever. Works well in jeans, plenty of space. Again, just really, really well done. And if you are left-handed, you can flip it over to the other side. All the hardware throughout is Torx. So yeah, just, I don't know, it's a really impressive little piece. You know, again, I love it for all the reasons I already mentioned. It's just a great knife to introduce people to pocket knives with, non-threatening, great materials, great fit and finish, very functional, so great action. Really knocked it out of the park. They sold a crap ton of them. I think they should do another run, maybe with like blue G10 instead of the black, just to give a little bit more variety. I would honestly see people picking up multiple of these. So anyways, that is the Massdrop Gent. There's some markings I didn't show you guys earlier on the blade. This one's apparently number 211, but they sold 1,400 in the first run. I had one follower who mentioned they had some sort of issue with lock failure. They contacted Massdrop and their customer service is sorting it out. They said the customer service was excellent, so I guess there's that as well. This one's perfect. I did spine whack it earlier against a table, and there was no movement on the lockup whatsoever. So, alright, that is the Massdrop Gent. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you picked one up and you're also really happy, or you've had any problems, you know, let other viewers know in the comments below. But as always, I only have a sample size of one, so I can only tell you my experience with this one piece. So thanks so much for watching. You can also follow me on Instagram as EpicSnuggleBunny, where I post daily content. Give it a thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribe. Take care.